Hi, it's Lian Eng from Go Kids. Today I'm going to share with you a segment about why I find school music program is important for your children, and if they should participate in a program, what sort of instruments do you choose? So normally when your child starts school in primary, the first time in kindergarten, parents would normally ask themselves whether or not to encourage their children to learn an instrument. What do they have to consider before enrolling into a program? Firstly, find out about and what sort of program do they have? Do they have strings program, bands program, choir, this sort of thing? Or would you consider that a program outside the school would be more beneficial? So those are the things that you may want to think about. I would like to share with you my experience whereby I felt that the school program was something that I thought was important for the developmental of my kids during their primary school session. I have always been very encouraging of my children learning musical instruments. They started piano at the age of 4, and we have our own private tutor, and they really enjoy the session. So when they started primary school, the school is actually renowned for their musical program, and I was deciding whether it is it a good idea to introduce a second instrument for them, and whether would I encourage them to participate in their school program where they have strings and bands and the ensemble together. My kids somehow, without hesitating, decided to participate in the strings program, which is my son took up the violin and my daughter took up the violin as well the following year. And at the same time, the school has tremendous support for this particular program, and as a result, they have enormous subsidy for the rental of the musical instruments, so it makes the decision so much easier. On top of that, the school had a very successful music camp at the end of the year. Most of the kids would really like to go there. It's really fun, and some of the kids who really would like to be in the camp, but the prerequisite was they have to be in the musical program of the school. So most of them who are not keen with learning an instrument, they did actually enrolled in the choir. So discuss with your school, survey, and think about what sort of program they have, and what's the benefit if you were to introduce your child with additional instruments, and whether to go with the school program or if it's an external program. If your child were to decide on joining the school, and what sort of instruments would your child like to play? So which one to choose? If your child has already decided, then it's pretty easy, it's straightforward. However, if your child is undecided, there are a couple of pointers that I would like to share with you, which is encourage your child to try out a few types of instruments. Probably talk to your school music teacher. They probably would have a better answer for you and guidance in terms of which instruments will be more suitable. Alternatively, take your child to a few musical concerts and explain to them the different types of instruments, and listen to their different types of sound. You can actually visit a music shop as well and get your child to physically have a feel of the instruments. If there's somebody in the shop who can actually demonstrate, that will be even better. Or try to get some music CDs and play for your kids, and let them to have the hang of how the music come about, and the different types of instruments that's be introduced there. It's important that your child chooses something that he or she is interested in. Once they start an instrument, give them the chance to try and work with the tutor for several weeks and see how they go. Remember to allow some flexibility for them to express their likes and dislikes for their chosen instruments. And one more thing I want to talk about is take the music lesson seriously. it is important that your child must enjoy what he or she is doing. A couple of things to consider why. Once he gets started, parents has to realize that the cost of the instruments can be pretty high. Sometimes maybe you can rent it cheaper, but most of the time you have to pay outright for them. The children have to realize that by committing to a lesson, there's some responsibility on their part whereby they have to be committed to practice. And there's no shortcut to it, it's practice, 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 but make it fun. Also, another consideration is the tuition fee. It can be quite substantial if your child is playing a few instruments at the same time. And transportation. Parents may have to be committed to bring your child to and fro the tuition center, and rehearsals, music camps, and much, much more. Musical maintenance at the same time. For example, the violin, you have to change the strings, different size of violins as your child grows, music books, music stands, and other costs associated with it. And lastly, it may be not as crucial, but an insurance for the musical instruments may be something you can consider about, just in case your child lost the instrument on the way home or to school, or is damaged. Finally, how would you encourage them to practice and have fun with what they are learning? From my experience, when the children are learning the instruments together and performing together, that is when they enjoy music most. It is so much more fun playing and performing together. They have more incentive to learn, to be challenged, and the sheer fun of playing together with a group of friends, which will be more meaningful and fun. And if they can perform together with their friends, it will be a real highlight for them. So I hope you enjoyed this week's segment, and next week I'll probably be talking about music and kids, why music is important. Until next week, thank you.